Ladies and gentlemen, 4 points to be made in addition to what my colleagues have said. When we, in public discourse and public meetings, say that we are not just talking, the things we say can actually happen, we've demonstrated this year that they can actually happen. So my first point is, to the people of Kenya, we are talking about hope. Don't lose hope, because we will restore our country to where it ought to be. We will provide real free education. The fear I have, I've not looked at the most current data, is that our dropout rate in schools could very easily have gone back to the pre-Kibaki days because of the number of children who cannot access education. The figures we have quoted here and the savings we are making in the education sector are intended to remove all the barriers to access to education. Because for a country of our size that has got the aspirations that we have, we cannot afford to have barriers to access to education, whether they're in levies, in fees, and all that kind of thing. So all those policy proposals that worked effectively during the Jubilee administration will be restored. They will work. Eduafia will work, as we have demonstrated to you, so that parents don't have to be called and hassled when their children are sick in school. We will remove some of these irrelevant and unnecessary levies and restore capitation to schools so that school heads are able to manage schools without stress and without undue pressure. What I would like to say, I said over the weekend, and I reiterate it again, that on this one issue of education, it's necessary, and we are asking the president and his government. You know, time lost, a year is too long in the education sector. We can have an all-parties conversation, and we have demonstrated what can be done to save the crisis in the education sector right now. They could start with this year's budget, this year's finance bill, and save the situation in the education sector. I have noted that the only change the president has been able to do is to appoint Mr. John Ololtua as the new PS as the Minister of Education. John is a good guy. He was my regional director of education when I was minister, but that is not enough. They need to have a different mindset in the way in which they are looking at the education sector so that we can save our children and our parents, and most importantly, our teachers from pain. Point number 2, discipline is destiny. There is no way we are going to manage ourselves as a country outside of effective discipline. The level of wastage in government is unbearable. You have noticed clearly from the proposals we have made that we can live within our means, we can reduce some of the allocations and some of the luxuries we're engaged in. For a government our size, for a country with our aspirations, faced with the challenges that we face, some of the things we do are actually very unrealistic and almost totally irresponsible. Point number 3, we are a democracy, and democracy is government by deliberation. Our colleague, the Minister for Finance now, or the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, has been criticizing us and saying we are making proposals to the Finance Bill 2026 recklessly. And my answer to him is this: you put it forward so that we deliberate it, we give you our views. And that's why we are asking members of parliament that if some of these amendments are not done, then the bill should be rejected in total. Yeah. There are details that we have not gone into here. For example, if you increase tax on income from rent from 7.5% to 10%, all that is going to be passed on to tenants. The same ones who are paying SHA, the same ones who are paying housing levy, the same ones who are paying all these taxes. How will life be afforded? So we are not basically saying things because we are bored. We are saying things because we can see and we live here. And we are saying them in patriotism. And our colleagues, our fellow citizens who are in government, need to also, with the same attitude, the same positive view, take our proposals very seriously and take them in their stride and see what can be done. And I don't think, although Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka Rigathi Gachagua did not say this. I don't think that the United Alternative Government is opposed to a conversation. Our members of parliament who are in parliament, I'm sure will be very happy to have a conversation on how these measures can be changed and these proposals can be changed in Finance Bill 2026 so that we can have a palatable situation. He asked how I was in cabinet for 10 years and we passed finance bills. We debated all the time. We negotiated all the time. In fact, in most cases, we gave away a lot. Sometimes it's a give and take, and government should be prepared to go to parliament and sometimes listen to the members of parliament, accept to lose here and lose there, reorganize here and reorganize there and readjust so that we can go forward in a manner that is essentially bearable for all of us. Finally, I don't think we are going anywhere if we adopt this attitude, like I have seen in some of our government officials, of behaving like we don't have a right or a role to point out these things. Who are you governing? You are governing us. Na sisi sio kondoo. We are human beings, we have views. And then when we give these views, please take them. We are your brothers also. We are not expatriate Kenyans. We are Kenyans in our own right. And we are telling you these things because we believe in them. And in that same vein, I would like to encourage our leaders, first from those who are in the National Assembly and in the Senate, in the United Alternative Government, to push hard with these proposals. Because all these things we have proposed here, if we don't take them to the floor of the House and read Finance Bill 2026 against these proposals, then what we are doing here is just a political exercise. So I would like to request our brothers and sisters who are in the two houses to carry these proposals with them and read Finance Bill 2026 side by side with the proposals we are making. And in the event that our fellow citizens who are in government will not listen and make these amendments, my recommendation strongly, like that of all right thinking and positive thinking Kenyans, is the Finance Bill then should be rejected in total.